Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to Lessons in Marketing Excellence Season 7. I'm Kuri. We've now reached midway of the semi-final where the teams have to present their marketing solutions to the case study by Hindustan Unilever's PureIt. The challenge is to help build brand relevance to increase the penetration of water purifiers in India, explore innovative channels and routes to market for PureIt to outpace market growth, and recommend innovative activations to drive the brand on the emerging e-commerce channel. With that, it's time to meet the jury panel for the day. First up, we have Anant Rangaswamy from CNBC TV 18, Venkatesh Babu Ramanathan, Global Brand Director for PureIt, and Shivam Puri, General Manager for Water India Business from Hindustan Unilever. Welcome, judges. The three teams fighting head-on in this episode are teams Lime Water from IIM Ahmedabad, Montevideo from NITIE Mumbai, and Limestone from IIM Bangalore. First up, we have Team Lime Water. Welcome, team. You know the rules. You have 3 minutes on the clock to make your presentation, at the end of which I will sound a buzzer, followed by a Q&A with the jury. Are you ready? Your 3 minutes starts now.
When we looked at the case, it was initially very difficult for us to grasp that a lot of people, especially in cities, do not use purifiers. So we decided to reach out to our consumers to know what they... And these are some of the insights that we got. So there's a growing concern of waterborne diseases. However, it's not just being met by purifiers. So the concern is being met by a lot of alternatives such as boiled water, packaged drinking water, using traditional methods such as alum, fitkari, etc. Also, although there were incidences of waterborne diseases, they couldn't be pointed out, so they were generally attributed to outer reasons. And also there were a lot of barriers that we identified, such as lack of after-sale services, lack in trust, and lack of space in homes, the lack of touch and feel. And therefore, we decided, and although a lot of these concerns were being answered, we wanted to concentrate on how to overcome these barriers. And that's how our solution comes.
So in line with the insights that we've identified, our solution is divided into two. The first is increasing penetration. Second part is building credibility. In the first part, in increasing penetration, it's further divided into two, which is developing need and tapping the existing need. In the first part, in developing need, we'd want to reach out to the masses by means of mass media and online channels. And also, we would want to communicate the benefits of a purifier while establishing its superiority over existing alternatives. This could be by means of campaigns which show comparison of existing alternatives with purifiers, as well as could be a 21-day free trial which establishes demand. Secondly, in tapping existing need, we want to have tie-ups with builders for increasing penetration in the form of having pre-installed devices in homes, which is again a way of increasing penetration. Both these stages are in the form of a cycle wherein each of them kind of reinforces each other.
So now, when it comes to the e-commerce space, now given the extremely crowded spectrum of offerings, both by us and competitors, so what we found out that reviews from other customers play a very important role in influencing other potential customers. Now, few observations from our research, we found out that the customer reviews centered around very different aspects in the RO and UV segment in one hand and the storage segment on the other. And for the RO and UV segment, the after-sales service was very important, whereas for the other segment, it was more about price and capacity, etc. Now, for the RO and UV segment, we found out that the proportion of negative reviews in the total sample set of reviews was pretty high and was almost common for each and every brand. So what we found out that this was an opportunity to differentiate ourselves vis-a-vis the competitors. Therefore, we suggest investing heavily in ramping up the after-sales service with an aim to leave no complaint unaddressed for more than 24 hours.
So how many consumers did you meet as a part of putting this piece together?
So all in all, we've had direct in-depth interviews with 23 consumers across places like Ghaziabad, Meerut, Agra, Ranchi, Raipur, Pune. So it totaled up to 23.
Okay. and that total gives you this kind of a solution in terms of increasing penetration, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Fairly disappointed with the depth of work that has been done here. I was assuming maybe we'll hear something in the presentation, but honestly we didn't hear anything interesting at all. So I really don't know what question to ask. It's a very disappointing presentation.
So we'd like to point out a few things that were mentioned in the presentation and not there. For an example, the thing about ramping up the operations in terms of after-sales service and investing heavily in there, because we found out that when a customer goes on to buy a water purifier online, now given the entire range of products from a particular brand and from other brands, it's a very confusing situation, and the customer reviews come in very handy at that point of time, and it's mostly negative for the our own user segment.
Only for a small sub segment which is buying online.
Yes.
What about the larger world? Do you have an idea to sell PureIt to a larger world? We have 1.25 billion people. So do you have an idea for them anywhere? Because like Shivam said, you go through this, there's no idea in this.
You spoke about communicating the superiority of a purifier, right? In terms of developing the need, a latent need that exists. Would you have any ideas as to how it might be done?
Like we said, we'd want to focus on comparison. So initially when purification devices came into place, and if you look at their campaigns, they focused on comparing it with boiled water, because that was the traditional norm. That was how people used to purify water and consume it. So now when we see that there are so many alternatives that are coming up, like packaged drinking water is coming up, we'd want to have a direct contrast with these alternatives in order to eliminate them as a big barrier which is emerging. So in our communication campaign, be it traditional, be it through television or be it through social networking sites, which will be our online channel, we'd want to state both the economical and the non-economical benefits of a purifier such as PureIt that could be brought across. For example, the cost per glass that is consumed by a consumer, or the kind of pollutants or the kind of contamination that can be removed by a purifier, but that cannot be done when you purchase a packaged drinking water from elsewhere or when the water is boiled. So that was our idea of proving superiority of a purifier over the existing alternatives instead of just explaining the benefits individually.
It would have been nice to have more material to sort of get to grips with and ask you more questions, but we are where we are.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, team. It's time now to take a short break. On the other side, two more teams make their presentations to fight it out to make it to the top 3. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Lessons in Marketing Excellence Season 7, the 3rd semi-final round. Next up, we have Team Montoo from NITIE Mumbai. Welcome, team. Hi, you know the rules. 3 minutes on the timer to make your presentation and then a Q&A with the jury. Ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now.
Water purifier market is at early stage of penetration and has a huge potential to grow. In order to meet our objective of building category relevance, penetration expansion of water purifier and establishing a brand superiority of PureIt, we did an extensive research and found out the following customer pain points. First was ignorance towards water quality. Second, lack of understanding towards technology. Third is reluctant to purchase purifiers online. And fourth was unsatisfactory after-sales service.
In order to tackle these issues, we came up with plan Reach Out. We want to launch an extensive campaign Kitne Surachit Hai Aap for free DTH water sampling, which would help consumers to ascertain the quality of water they use by either contacting the PureIt checking helpline or procuring PureIt checking kits bundled with health-related products of HUL. In order to improve the quality of water, we should educate the consumers regarding water purifiers through this campaign. Now, for strengthening the brand equity of PureIt, we propose Protected by PureIt campaign. We will install PureIt machine at airports, AC train coaches, hospitals, movie theaters, marriage halls. These machines and then accompanying glasses will have clear message as per USPA standards on one side and Protected by PureIt on other. This will help us in 2 ways. First, creating lasting impression on the mind of user. Second, making PureIt synonymous with safe drinking water. Now, drawing. Tie up with online medical health startup like Practo, Protea and partnership with chemists and doctors to showcase PureIt in the property and also educate them. Working on next phase of Protected by PureIt campaign, we will now focus on communicating benefits, features, key differentiators through various channels like social media, print.
Indulge. Celebrating Health Week on social media and e-commerce sites at the onset of the rainy season, by promoting and offering discounts on products like Lifebuoy, Domex, PureIt, etc. Merchandising health-related products and promoting PureIt on all e-commerce sites. Creating dedicated section called PureIt Zones on e-commerce websites, which will act as a one-stop solution for PureIt buyers. Maintaining an ecosystem of PureIt users and potential consumers. Sustain. We found that consumers had trust issues related to the life of the GKK. So we proposed replacing the current color-based indicator by a water counter for accurate measurement of water purified and comparison with the promised amount. Starting up with a GKK challenge, that is, the customer will be charged on pro rata basis and reimbursed a differential amount if the GKK is exhausted before the guaranteed output. Change of the communication for post-purchase service from fixed turnaround time to dynamic for accurate information and clarity to customers. We also want to provide immediate help coupons which can be redeemed for 12-hour service. A feedback call will be made to check satisfaction of customers. If problem still persists, champion PureIt water experts will be assigned.
Hence, to conclude, trust, safety, convenience will be acting as three pillars to build PureIt as a brand synonymous with safe drinking water. Trust with Kitne Surakshit Hai Aap campaign, safety with Protected by PureIt, and in order to ensure convenience, we need to improve on the post-purchase service and customer-first strategy.
So, so the first question is on this trust, safety, convenience. I really didn't get the convenience part of it. That's the first response. So please explain the context here. And second one is, don't you think this is too many things that you want to actually communicate as one sort of message for a brand? Trust, safety maybe close by, but convenience as well.
Can I also just add on to that, on the same question? How exactly does one communicate trust? Kitna surakshit hai aap? Do you think that really sort of communicates trust?
So the first question was on convenience. So we found out that a lot of people were having problems with the post-purchase phase of after buying a purifier. So that is when we want to bring the convenience part of a solution where like the problems with the germ kill kit where they claim that it got exhausted before the promised 1500 liters guarantee which was given to them. So if we have the water counter which we are suggesting, it will be a black and white picture in front of them.
Is that convenience or that still in the trust area? What is convenience? That is still in the trust area.
Yeah, that is one thing. Second is the dynamic turnaround time which we are giving them. So now what is happening is the helpline tell them that probably the service person will be there in 24 hours or 48 hours. So now we want to look at the load and the schedule of the people on the ground level and give them.
So what is the penetration of purifiers in the country?
Urban 10%, rural 2%.
So don't you think you are focusing on a very small pie when there's such a big problem to be addressed by talking about these minuscule issues?
Our campaigning of Kitne Surakshit Hai Aap will also lead to increasing of the market size. We will tell people who are in the target audience right now, but they are not using purifiers because either they are unaware or they are reluctant to.
Can you move on to the second question that Venkatesh had asked?
So we would like to structure the solutions we are given into three parts, and we have done so. The pre-purchase phase, the purchase phase and the post-purchase phase, and each phase we have tried to bring in some aspects and solve some of the problems. Like in the first phase, people are not aware of the quality of water they are using. That is when Kitne Surakshit Ho Aap campaign comes in. HL without any cost, just people who want to check the quality of the water, they can just call that helpline.
So we are discussing this almost sounds like generating mistrust.
So what is the trust? I think it's about the interpretation of what trust is doing actually. So in our interpretation, at least when we saw the case, we felt that you're trying to create trust in the brand, which is how we were sort of looking at it. But when you talk about it, you seem like you're creating mistrust in the water that they're drinking. So what exactly is this trust?
Actually, adding to his point, like suppose there are a lot of people who are not satisfied, who think that okay, whatever I'm drinking it's fine, and they don't know about the technology. So it's a complete whole umbrella solution. In Kitne Surakshit Hai Aap campaign, a person who is calling to HUL PureIt helpline, they will be knowing about more. A person will be coming from PureIt, and they will be educating them about the water sample which they will provide, and the solution will be on the basis of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. All right, it's time for a short break. And on the other side, the team from IIM Bangalore takes center stage. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Lessons in Marketing Excellence Season 7, the semi-final round. Next up is Team Limestone from IIM Bangalore. Welcome, Team Limestone. You know the rules, 3 minutes on the clock, at the end of which there will be a Q&A with the jury. Are you ready with your presentation?
Yes.
Well, your time starts now.
Before we begin, we'd like to share 2 anecdotes from my extensive research this past week. First, an interviewee says, "Of course I've seen your advertisements, but that is someone else's water. My house has always had pure water, and her family historically consumed boiled water." And second, a batchmate when told about the case goes, "PureIt? Isn't that the non-electricity aquaguard?" Now, these instances beautifully summarize the 3 core problems we identified. 1. Water purifiers as a category does not see any purchase urgency. Most purchases are reactive, not proactive. 2. The word PureIt triggers an association with a low-end purifier, but the mother brand itself lacks a distinct identity. And 3. PureIt has low brand recall, while the competitors are literally synonymous with the category. Additionally, spending time to study the customer's path to purchase, we found that 1. SECI customers typically have a predefined consideration set of 1 to 2 brands, and most purchases inevitably come from this consideration set. Unfortunately, PureIt rarely figures here. And 2. Word of mouth is the highest influencer in decision making by a margin.
Given these findings, and to address the case objectives, here is a 3-pronged strategy that we recommend. A 360-degree campaign to attract, innovative channels to reach, and enable services to retain. Our campaign will aim to position water purifiers as an absolute necessity. With what we wish to call the Live Pure campaign, don't drink water, drink PureIt. We aim to equate PureIt with purity. Focused on the target segment, the campaign should be executed at touch points frequented by them, like offices, malls, social media, YouTube, among many others.
Coming to channels, traditional channels such as door-to-door are becoming largely inefficient due to shrinking access. We propose tying up with B2B channels such as modular kitchen providers and construction companies to increase reach to target segment. For online channels, we propose to create a Purify buying guide for e-commerce platforms similar to a TV buying guide. This would highlight the utility of product features and influence customers' consideration set at an early stage. To help customers identify the appropriate product for their need, create a crowdsourced database on water hardness across PIN codes and feed that into the buying guide. Improve online engagement and traffic by integrating feature descriptions with links to demo videos. Plus, create a live chat feature on D2C website. Finally, focus on after sales as it is linked to word of mouth and hence crucial to boost sales. Leverage professional service aggregators like Urban Clap to increase service footprint and training modules and certifications to ensure quality of service. To conclude, repositioning PureIt, led by a targeted marketing campaign, supported by innovative sales channels and better service, will help in sustained growth outpacing competition.
I'm not very clear about the solution, right? So I understand the category awareness part of it. I'm not very clear how you guys are reorienting the brand perceptions.
We have a 3-pronged strategy, as I said. The first strategy will be to associate the mother brand with the idea of purity. We will say, don't drink water, drink PureIt. So what we are trying to communicate here is, PureIt is something that is a basic necessity. We want to equate pure water with something as basic as roti kapda makan. This is very basic in our lives. People do not have to wait for someone to fall sick to come and drink pure water. Once we do that with an aggressive marketing campaign, we are going to focus and support it with sales channels, and to reach the category of SECI and SECB segments, we will, along with the normal GTA and MT, we will also look at channels which they are currently on right now, like B2B segments to reach the gated communities and all that.
Got that. So let's park with let's stay with the thought of the line: live pure, don't drink water, don't drink PureIt, drink PureIt, whatever. I mean, why? The first question that you said the consumers don't really are not involved with the category, water is not a priority. So why?
May I take that question? Yeah. So firstly, to do with category awareness, I think like we said in the first anecdote, the issue is that people think everyone else's water is dirty, visibly dirty water is dirty, but what they drink is not really dirty. So when the campaign is around something like what PureIt has always been doing, saying ki 1 crore kitanu, it says that that's not my water, that's not what we are about. But if the campaign is saying, I'll test samples from boiled water from your home and I can still show that there's some amount of residual lead and arsenic, then that shows to me that, see, not all water is not definitely pure water. Secondly, with respect to PureIt, I think the problem is right now the association of PureIt as a brand is with a product. It's not with the mother brand. It has several products across, including RO and UV, which almost absolutely no one associated it with. So you want to change this perception and say, no, I can't take RO because Kent is strongly associated with RO. I can't take Aquaguard because Aquaguard is synonymous with the channel. But what I can take is purity. One, because my word beautifully fits with purity. But that's also what I want to convey as a mother brand. It's purity across all products.
I don't hear a big idea or a thought around how you will actually make a big impact in the consumer's head on saying they actually need a purifier. Simply changing association does not do the job for you. Okay. You know, and if that is how it were supposed to work, 10 other brands would have done it.
So we're not saying it's not a media campaign. It's not a short-term campaign, right? Almost in all the research that we did, the core problem that we saw was people did not see it as a necessity because they do not think their water is impure. Right? So what this has to be is not just a campaign, but this reinforcement that they see throughout all their touch points. Like if I go to a clinic, and if I'm in like a pregnancy clinic or in a doctor's shop, and I know that my biggest concern is immunity, and there if you're targeting them saying that, see, boiled water is not going to keep you safe. It's immune. If you want to build immunity, you should drink PureIt, not boiled water.
That's what we currently do. We say boiled water, this is equal to or better than boiled water. That's what we do.
So that's not just all. You're saying that, you're taking samples from boiled water. So just saying that I don't think will suffice because people still think that's...
So your big idea is take samples from various consumer
So not just that, we're saying that it has to be almost every touch point that they're in, maybe like in offices or in universities. You need to constantly reinforce that message that yes, there is a standard to water. People don't know that there's a standard to drinking water. It's never in their minds. So if you constantly reinforce that message, there's a standard to water. We don't think all the water that you're consuming is
okay. So your point is evolve was water standard.
Yes.
There is a WHO water standard. You could probably evolve. I'm not sure of the mechanics of that. But
so
then to reinforce the message that there is a water standard.
Reinforcing message. No, I don't get the message itself. I'm saying you just have a thought. And you're saying communicate the thought and world will change.
The idea is very simple, sir. The competitors here today are here selling water purifiers. Frankly, they are very big in the market right now. And people associate the market with Kent or with Aquaguard. What we are trying to do here is, instead of going against the biggies, we take one step back and we see, are we selling purifiers? Are we selling pure water? So we are taking one step back and we tell them, we are selling pure water. We are giving you the product.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. Well, that's a wrap on this episode of Lime. 6 more teams still need to make their pitch to the jury. The tension is only rising. Next week, we bring you 3 teams from FMS Delhi, IIFT Delhi and ISB Hyderabad. Until then, from the entire team, many thanks for watching.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.